Welcome to everyone this afternoon. My name is Alicia Seaver. I'm here on behalf of Bridges by Epic at Westwood. We have a memory care assisted living in Westwood on University Avenue, right across from that newer Wegmans. Is everybody familiar with where that is? Terrific. We'll draw you a map.
Hale Reservation.
You mean a new one? Another one?
The one.
Oh, the one.
The Wegmans.
The one.
We're right across the street. So when we open a community, in a community, we bring education and support to the community. So I'm here on behalf of Bridges by Epic at Westwood to bring you an educational topic relative to dementia. And you can thank Janine Murphy for my being here today, your local nurse, because I don't even know how she found me, but she found me. And your local access cable channel is here too, because they see the value in such a topic to be able to share it with people that live in Norfolk that can watch it on cable access. So I'm happy for that too, because it's important. So thank you for being here, Chris. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm talking to myself.
Okay, good. Terrific. More importantly, even if you don't know a memory impaired person right now, you may not. I encourage you to visit our community and see it, because it's very different than anything else you've ever seen. Because maybe if you see it, you would meet someone and be able to tell them about it, because it's different. So if you're ever at Wegmans or Marshall's or Home Goods, you can come across the street. You might meet Maggie or Grace. These are my colleagues. And they would show you around. Because, truth, I care a lot about what we do, and it means nothing if people don't see it. Okay? The other thing I will invite you to do is, if you wanted a copy of today's presentation, I'll sell it to you, joking, of course. The ladies will provide it to you. You can shoot us an email, or we can snail mail it to you, whatever you want, but we're always happy to share the content if you wanted to share it with someone else, okay? You feel good? Terrific. So today we're talking about normal aging. Is it normal aging or is it memory loss? And that's everybody's worry, right? Is everybody worried?
No.
Good. You shouldn't be worried. You know that it's normal to come out of the grocery and not know where your car is? Norfolk? It's normal.
We don't have a grocery.
Okay, so when you go to Franklin to go to the grocery, and you come out of the grocery and you don't know where your car is, it's normal aging to not know where your car is. So let's get to this. Memory and aging. I know you can't see this, so am I loud enough or do I need the microphone? Can you hear me okay? Terrific. Subtle changes in memory occur naturally as a part of the aging process. But the brain can produce new brain cells at any age, so significant memory loss is not inevitable. So the trick to this for all of us that have healthy brains is to do new things, to expose ourselves to new things to grow cells. If we keep doing the same old things, we're not going to grow anything in here. And the way to grow things in here is to expose ourselves to new and different things. Many older adults worry about their memory and thinking, and they might report in their 50s or 60s that their memories are slipping. But memory loss can truly happen at any time. Everyone has forgotten a name or an appointment or some fact that was on the tip of their tongue. Right? Good. When we're young, we often disregard these lapses, but as we grow older, we get a little more worried. And it's okay. It really is. I'm going to let everybody off the hook in Norfolk today. Time is our memory's worst enemy. Time. Some things begin to fade right away, while other things fade less quickly, depending on the nature of the material, how important it is to us, what our stress level could be like, and any number of other things that could affect someone's memory, the ability to retain. Sometimes changes to our memory occur sooner than anticipated or faster than you would expect. Some can mistake the natural slowing of mental processes for true memory loss. But the truth of the matter is this: we age. Our brains age too. And when our brains age, other things can happen, but that doesn't mean Alzheimer's. It doesn't. It can just mean normal aging. Causes of age-related memory loss. The hippocampus, that's the region of your brain involved in the formation and retrieval of memories, often deteriorates with age, no matter what. Hormones and proteins that protect and repair brain cells and stimulate neural growth also decline with age. Older people often experience decreased blood flow to the brain, which can impair memory and lead to changes in cognition. Normal aging versus memory loss. Occasional memory lapses can be frustrating, but often they are not cause for concern. Everybody should be smiling. Yes, you're happy. Age-related memory changes are not the same as dementia. They're not. So you can just have an aging brain. I love a person that says, I don't have Alzheimer's, I just have an aging brain. Because that's what it is. Key difference between age-related memory loss and dementia is that your age-related memory loss does not interfere with your day. You can still get through a day. When you're memory impaired, when you have a diagnosis of dementia, it's difficult, very difficult to get through a day without some support or help. Able to perform day-to-day activities, manage work, hobbies, social activities, family relationships. Decision-making abilities are the same as always. Dementia is marked by a persistent, disabling decline in 2 or more intellectual abilities. Could be memory, language, reasoning, and/or abstract thinking, but 2 or more areas. Other causes of memory loss. Memory loss does not automatically mean that you have dementia. We should all write that down. Memory loss doesn't automatically mean that you have dementia. Sometimes, even what looks like significant memory loss can be caused by something that's treatable. Stress, anxiety, depression, a vitamin B12 deficiency, issues with your thyroid, an untreated urinary tract infection. An untreated urinary tract infection, I'm local now, so I'm going to be careful how much information I give you. But if I had a urinary tract infection and I did not have an antibiotic, I could seem moody. I could seem disoriented a little bit. And those things can look like dementia. But as soon as I get the antibiotic that I need, I don't look that way anymore. So paying attention to these things and how they can make us, dehydration is huge, especially this time of year. You couldn't possibly, and no one has a drink in front of them, which is hysterical. However, we couldn't drink enough. Dehydration and what that does to us as we age is tricky. So the best thing we can all do is fill one of these purple water bottles and carry it around and hydrate, because it's really, really helpful. And when someone is dehydrated, they can seem confused, irritable, disoriented, and those things certainly look like a dementia. So paying attention. Mild cognitive impairment. There is such a thing. Intermediate stage between what is normal age-related cognitive changes and the more serious dementias like an Alzheimer's. Mild cognitive impairment can bring about issues with memory, language, thinking, judgment that are just a bit more significant than normal age-related change. Sometimes it is difficult to distinguish the line between mild cognitive impairment and dementia. Symptoms can include frequently losing or misplacing things, I'm sure that only happens in Franklin where I am. But I can be looking for my glasses and they're on my head. Or I could be looking for my phone and I'm on it. I know I'm not the only person, so it's seeped into Norfolk. Okay. 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's. Warning signs that are specific to Alzheimer's. Memory loss, like I spoke about earlier, that affects your day-to-day function. I don't need to get into it. Challenges with planning and/or solving problems. Difficulty performing what is familiar. What is familiar? It could be buttoning a shirt. It could be any number of things. But the things that maybe I found easy to do today could be a challenge tomorrow. Confusion with time or place. Hopefully, we're all here together and everybody knows we're in Norfolk, Massachusetts. Good.
We're not admitting it.
Okay. You're so fun. We're not telling you anything. Hopefully everybody knows the season, because when you're memory impaired, you can lose track. Trouble understanding visual images and spatial relationships, another warning sign. Challenges with words in speaking and/or writing. Misplacing things and not having the ability to retrace your steps. And that's a gift. And I know we all have it. Where you can't find something, or you went to do something and you were distracted and you forgot. And you retrace your steps and you're able to remember it again. Yeah? Does that work for people? Nobody in Norfolk forgets? Feeling very alone. However, the ability to retrace your steps is a gift. Decreased and/or poor judgment. Withdrawal. Pulling back from things that you once enjoyed. Pulling back from work or social activities. Changes in mood and/or personality. Because that should be specific to dementia. Because everybody else is not moody. Here we go. Short-term memory. Sometimes forgetting a name or an appointment, but remembering it later. Anybody? You see someone, I'm just going to tell myself. You see someone, this is happening to me because I've returned to Franklin, Massachusetts, which was my hometown. I grew up there. And then I left. And then I came back. And then I see someone, and I think, gosh, I know that person. But I cannot remember their name. And then at 2:30 in the morning, when I get up to use the bathroom, I'm like, oh, of course, that's who it was. Because my brain is quiet, and I can process the data, and out it comes. And people should catch me at 2:30. Forgetting the names of close friends or family, forgetting recent events like visitors you had that day or what you had for dinner is the reverse end of that problem. That's a more dementia-specific symptom. Occasionally forgetting something that was on the tip of your tongue is normal, or we wouldn't have the phrase tip of your tongue. It's normal. Oh, I was just gonna, it's at that tip of my, normal. Mixing up words and saying bed instead of table is not normal aging. Occasionally forgetting something that you were told. That's me on the routine. I told you that. Sure, I'm sure you did. I didn't retain it. My short term's full. Versus asking for the same information over and over again. Repeat questions is absolutely an indicator of a memory challenge. Occasionally misplacing items, your phone, your glasses, the remote, but being able to find them by retracing your steps. Versus misplacing things, being unable to find them, putting things in unusual places, like the house keys in the bathroom cabinet or the iron in the freezer. It happens. That's not a normal part of aging. That screams memory impairment to me. Unless you're me, I'll find a way out of it. Forgetting parts of an experience. You may forget parts of today, and that's okay. It's normal. Forgetting you ever came here, forgetting we ever met, forgetting that we brought those cookies and that I was up all night baking them for you is different. Forgetting where you parked your car, normal. That thing is not for the lock and the unlock, it's for the locate. It really, that's what I use it for. I'm not even caring if it's open. That's not my worry. My worry is to find it. Versus getting in your car and not knowing how to drive it. Different. It is normal to be slower to react as we age. It's a normal part of aging. Versus getting very confused when planning or thinking things through. That's different. Becoming less able to manage multiple tasks, especially when distracted. Versus the inability to complete tasks independently or taking much longer to complete everyday tasks or following a recipe, paying bills, those kinds of things, taking medication. Not normal. An example would be a memory impaired person that receives a bill from National Grid and they pay it. And then they put it on the table. And then the next day they pay it again. And the good news is National Grid will just continue to take your money. And you will end up with a credit. But that's an indicator. That's not a normal part of aging. Indicator that something's brewing. Making a bad decision every now and again, a normal part of aging. Versus having frequent poor judgment, especially when assessing risk or behaving socially inappropriate. Not a normal part of aging. Occasionally missing a monthly payment versus having trouble keeping track. It's the same thing with a recipe. When you're memory impaired, it's difficult to follow a recipe because just as quickly as you put the cup in, the question's here, did I put the cup in? Having trouble finding the right words sometimes is a normal part of aging. Normal. Versus having frequent issues finding the right word or incorrectly referring to objects like calling a watch a hand clock. That is not a normal part of aging. Needing to concentrate a bit harder to keep up with conversation is a normal part of aging. Versus having trouble following or joining altogether a conversation. Losing the thread if you're distracted or there are many people speaking at once. Normal. Difficulty following the flow of a routine, regular conversation. Orientation. Becoming confused. This is a good week to talk about this with a Monday holiday, right? Especially for me as a healthcare professional because I run around all week asking people what day it is. What day is it? Is it, or I think I know and I'm inevitably wrong because of the Monday holiday. That's a normal part of aging. With a Monday holiday, when you're still working, you should get confused about the days after. When you're memory impaired, you can lose track of the dates. When you're memory impaired, you can lose track of an entire season or months. That's a little different. Hopefully everybody knows. If you don't know it's June 1st, it's June 1st. But I know a lot of memory impaired people today that are trying to figure out still yet at this time, almost 2 o'clock, what month it really is. So that's a little different. Walking into a room and forgetting why you went there. Anyone? Thank you. Thank God you're here, Janine. That is my life at home. It really is. Like, what did I come here for? I came here for a reason. And then I get mad. And then as soon as you get mad, it's not going to work. Nothing's going to work. We have to be our best selves to be able to retrace steps and find things. However, not knowing why or where you are when you're in a familiar place is a different. Temporarily forgetting a destination or pausing to remember directions versus getting lost while walking or driving in a familiar area. Vision and perception. Vision changes related to cataracts or other changes in the eye, cloudy vision, a normal part of aging. It's normal. Versus trouble or challenges interpreting visual information. With a lot of memory impaired people, they have challenges with their vision and their periphery's off. And if the periphery is off, then you can well imagine the dings on the periphery. You know, I know a lot of seniors that they think they're going to make it through a threshold and they don't, and they ding because their vision, their vision is off. So difficulty judging distances on stairs, misinterpreting patterns or reflections. Actually, this floor is perfect, but in senior living, we don't shine our floors because for a lot of memory impaired people, when they see a shiny floor, it can look either wet or it can look like ice, and they're not coming. They just won't come in. So to keep it dull almost is better. What is it?
Matte finish.
Matte finish, dull. You're right, better, much better. Difficulty determining color and contrast too. I'm sure people remember when I was growing up, we had wallpaper that you could feel. It was actually textured. God, I remember it. However, in a memory care environment, that would not be helpful. It's much too busy. The same with carpet. You know, if it has all these swirls and different colors and things, it can be very confusing for memory impaired people, and they'll have a harder time navigating the space. Yeah. Oops. Here, let me get back to this. Mood and behavior. In truth, I know no one here in Norfolk's moody. I get it. Especially, well, I just know that. However, it's not specific to Alzheimer's either. But if you see a dramatic change in someone you know, that could be a red flag that something is brewing. Sometimes being weary of work and family and social obligations is normal. That's a normal part of aging. We're not supposed to want to. And when we don't want to is when we really should. Versus becoming withdrawn, losing interest, not socializing, and those things. Feeling a bit low or anxious, normal part of aging. Versus getting unusually sad, unusually anxious, frightened, or low in self-confidence if they weren't before. Developing specific ways of doing things and becoming irritable when a routine is disrupted. Because I am a memory care prepper. It's all I've ever done. So I'm prepared. And truth, I have a very busy life. So I need order or I wouldn't have gotten here today. And if anybody messes with my order, I become another person that you don't want to meet. And good news, you won't have to. Because I have to be able to rely upon what I do. And anyways, I have definitely developed ways in which I need to get things done and how it works for me. But becoming irritable or easily upset at home, at work, in comfortable, familiar places would be different. Would be different. When to see a physician? When memory lapses become frequent or somebody's concerned, make an appointment. We don't need to be afraid anymore of finding out. Because the truth of the matter is there are benefits to knowing. Even if it's not a memory impairment, there are benefits to knowing what it is. Because oftentimes something that can be resolved. Even if your symptoms don't indicate a dementia, steps can be taken to prevent, a small issue from becoming a larger one. Makes sense, right? We would tend to anything else that was going wrong with us, wouldn't we? I feel like there's a reluctance for people when they're worried about what's going on in the noggin, and they don't always want to look at it. But the truth of the matter is there are benefits to looking at it. There really are. A doctor can assess risk, evaluate symptoms, do screenings and tests, as well as treat any number of reversible issues that could cause memory loss. Early diagnosis can help improve quality of life for those with Alzheimer's or maybe another type of dementia. And hopefully, well, good news for you that this is the topic Janine chose, because there are more than 100 different dementias on the table in this country at this time. Everybody doesn't have Alzheimer's. And lucky for you, she didn't choose that topic, or we would have had to do a retreat and stay all night. So I'm happy to keep it brief. But a diagnosis is beneficial because then you can begin to treat, manage symptoms, educate yourself and your loved ones about what it is, plan for your futures, settle financial or legal challenges, whatever. Coping with the diagnosis, coming to terms with memory loss and the possible onset of dementia can absolutely be difficult. But what I am here to tell you is that I know too many people that are memory impaired, and life goes on. Life goes on even with a memory impairment, because it should. Some people may try to hide their memory problems from others. Family members may try to compensate for another family member's loss of memory, often without being aware of how much they've adapted to the memory impairment over time. We know this because they go into the exam with their loved one and they're answering all the questions. And then we're not getting an accurate look. But it's very, very common. Coping with the diagnosis. Dementia is a life changer for sure. Excuse me. But with early intervention, education, planning and support, you can gain acceptance of the situation. You can get prepared to face the challenges that you might face. Ultimately, we always are looking for ways in which to improve one's quality of life. And that's really, really important for us. It's important for us because at our Bridges by Epic communities, especially Westwood, that's why we're here, we spend more time thinking about that than we do many other things. Okay, but they still enjoy this, so how are we going to make it happen? Or they still enjoy this, so how are we going to make it happen? Because life is important, and we want people to engage. It's a lot of data in a short time. So what I would like to hope is that maybe you have questions, because I'm happy to answer them. Normally, when we do this presentation, we leave that few minutes so people can think about the things that's a lot of data in a short time. But think about, is it something you're really worried about? Is it something you're worried about for a friend? Is there something that we could do to support you? Those are the things that we do. Here's the other thing I want you to know about us, meaning us at Bridges by Epic. You don't have to have a memory impaired loved one that resides with us to benefit from knowing us. Our community, sadly and wonderfully, fills itself. They all do. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to bring the education because you asked for it. And when people ask, we bring it. We also have support groups for people that are caring for a memory impaired individual. We have any number of, we provide education bi-weekly. We have over 100 topics ready to go. So anyone can join those. They're open to the public. We do them on Zoom. Sometimes we do them live. What we've learned with Zoom and COVID is that we have the opportunity to really reach more people with Zoom and help more people. So if that's something you'd like to explore, Maggie and Grace are here to help you. What else am I forgetting? Am I forgetting anything else? Feel good about it? Good. So, does anyone have any questions? Yes.
I have a question. Can you talk about the impact of poor sleep on memory?
Yes, I might. Yes, I will. It plays a big part. It plays a really big part because when you're memory impaired and you don't sleep well, It will aggravate your symptoms. And your symptoms are going to seem bigger than if you had slept. It's the same with eating. It's the same with energy. You know, memory impaired people need to do all the things that we do. They need to eat well, they need to sleep well, they need to exercise, they need to be engaged, they need to socialize. Those things are all super important. When I don't sleep, I'm not my best self that next day. I'm just not. It's just the nature of how it goes. Good for you, I slept last night. Celtics weren't on. However, when I get to a community and someone says, oh, so-and-so didn't sleep, I say, my whole body, because that means that whole day is not going to be right for that person. And no matter, you know, symptoms are relative, specific to the person, likely it's going to be harder just without sleep. So the things we do to encourage sleep, because routine's wildly important, even if you're memory impaired, even if you're not. We should all have a sleep routine. Sleep routines help. Burning energy during the day really, really helps. Not taking 4-hour naps really, really helps. Because, you know, if you take a 4-hour nap, you can expect you're going to be up. So those kinds of things we pay attention. We pay attention to food and beverage, just like you do with young kids, late in the afternoon. Change everything at this time, actually. Our music changes at this time at the communities because we need to get people into relaxing and other things, where we play a higher paced, a faster paced music the earlier parts of the day where we're trying to motivate. Does that help?
I was just concerned, I've heard that it can be a cause of a memory loss in a normal person if you don't sleep. Say you're up all night and the next day you may be memory impaired, is my thinking.
Yeah, I would shake that. I wouldn't think that. I've never met a memory impaired person where somebody said they got this because they didn't sleep well.
Maybe just for a one-day thing.
Oh, sure. Sure. I guess everybody's symptoms from a lack of sleep would be a little different, person to person, but that could happen. Sure.
How big of an impact do you think diet has on memory loss and dementia? Because I'm hearing more and more that it really does play a large role.
I feel like this. I feel like it's important. I feel that we should pay attention. I feel that that message would be better driven to this crowd and maybe not necessarily the crowd residing in one of our communities.
Why is that?
Because I think that we have a preemptive game if we don't have it. And I feel like once you have it, the sky's the limit. I want to give you anything you want. Right? Like when you have it, I want comfort for you. I want opportunities for reminiscing. And those things come from those old-fashioned meals, right, that we used to Sunday on, or those things. But I hear a lot of positive feedback around the Mediterranean diet. You know, green leafies and all those things. Antioxidants in your diet, all those things. The other piece to that is the vascular type dementia. There's a cardiac-driven dementia, and it's called vascular dementia. And even for the memory impaired person, I see diet sway the symptoms. So, you know, a cardiac healthy diet for a cardiac riddled dementia makes a lot of sense.
I have one other question then. For someone who's paranoid, is that part of dementia, or does paranoia kind of drive dementia, or are they really related?
Oh, they're related. They're definitely related. Paranoia doesn't bring dementia, but dementia brings paranoia. You know, the symptoms for memory impairments, the list is long. But paranoia is right up there. And if you Googled it tonight, it'd probably be in the top 10. Suspiciousness, paranoia. Doesn't it make sense, though? Like if your short-term memory, when you're memory impaired, your short-term memory is the question. Your long-term memory usually stays intact. And the disease doesn't eat it, it stays. So if your short-term memory becomes the question, and I put the pen down, right? And then the pen is gone. Like, are you kidding me? I think I could get suspect first. Like, did you just take my pen? Because I feel like that would be easier for my personality, right? Hey, I think you just took my pen.
Well, this is the real question I have with that, because if the pen were gone, I would say to myself, geez, where did I put it?
You're not impaired.
But a paranoid person would say, who took my pen?
You're right. That's the dementia.
That is
It's a
the
symptom of dementia. Suspiciousness, the same thing. You put your purse down, you come to, it happens to us every day. They come to a program and they're cute. So, and they put the purse down and they go to engage and they're like, where's my purse? Somebody stole my purse? They stole my purse? Call the police? My gosh. They jump right to that because it's there.
And they jump to call the police very quickly
Sure.
also.
They certainly do. They call 911 from our communities. But if we don't call them first, I will report every stolen purse. I will. I will make it so real that they will feel very reassured that I'm taking care of it. Because if memory impaired people believe that we're taking care of it, we can hush the symptoms a little bit.
That's interesting. Thank you. Yeah.
It's about joining it, even though I know the truth. I know it wasn't stolen, but I will join it. If your journey says it was stolen, I'm not going to spend hours and minutes trying to convince you that didn't happen. I'm not, because I can't fight the brain. It's already in. You're already telling me it's stolen. Stolen? Police. End of story. Norfolk Police, Alicia Seaver. Great. We have a theft. And I am going to stage that so realistically that that person says, oh my God, she believed me. And she's taking care of it. Whereas if I say, it's not gone. It's not. It's here. I'm going to be one of them. I'm going to become one of them. And I can't afford it. So you join it. Join it. No, it is relative. It could be stolen red purse. It could be, there are spiders up and down the walls of my room.
Why is my window open?
Because somebody's trying to get in. I can hear people in the yard. And I don't say, oh, there aren't people in the yard. I say, well, there are people in the yard. Of course you can hear them. Because it validates and reassures. And this is always the answer. Because it's the only other choice. Oh. Resources. The Alzheimer's Association has a super website. It's really super. It's got a lot of great resources and help and different things. But they talk about the therapeutic value of the Fiblet for memory impaired people. So to say to this person, yes, you're right, it would call the police, is not honest. I'm not really calling. I know it wasn't stolen. But the Fiblet has therapeutic value to that person. It's like the woman that comes out of her suite at, a community and says, my room's filled with spiders. I say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that happened. Come with me, let's get a cup of tea, and I'm taking care of that. I'm calling the exterminator. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm taking care of it. And I have to be really good at it, and I have to be believable. And that's gonna do this. It's a different approach, but it works, and there's therapeutic value. Sure.
So you're basically validating what they're saying to de-escalate,
Right.
correct?
Because the truth is, you can't fight a hallucination, because that comes with the territory too. It's another symptom, right? And it happens all the time. And we don't have the time to dispute. And at that point, it's not even lying. At that point, you're really helping. It's true. He's a thief. He is. Let's get him out of here. No, then I have to figure out how to do that. I'm like, oh gosh, I just said, we're going to get him out of here. We got to get him out of here. But we need to make it happen. And you know what? It's funny because in one of the communities recently, a family member said, I can't tell anymore with you. If you're in it, if you're out of it, what you're doing. I'm like, I can't either. Because I need the residents in the moment to believe me. Because I can't have everybody symptom high all the time. So Hi there.
In that case where you say you'll call the exterminator,
Sure.
do you actually call an exterminator?
No.
Okay.
No, but I make it super convincing that not only did I call, what time they're coming, and that it's resolved. And then I follow up with the resolve. Like, it's resolved. We've taken care of it. And it doesn't mean it won't happen again. It's a symptom, so it can. No, I can't call the police every time someone's missing a purse. We have 70 people on that campus.
All right, the way you first said it, I thought.
Right. But the truth is, when I'm in that moment and I'm trying to convince someone that I'm going to help them and take care of it, I am super convincing. I'm confused myself. Am I calling? I just convinced you. Am I calling? Am I not calling? It's tricky. It is tricky. Sure.
I had an incident with my mother many years ago, and she was one of these that, you know, she saw this, she saw that, and it was like, oh, you know, it's not there, and what am I going to do? And one day she was beside herself that she needed medication, which I know she didn't. So I said to her, Mom, I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to call the doctor. Calm down, I'll see what we can do. It was on a Saturday. And I went upstairs to my bedroom and I'm going, what am I going to do? She doesn't need the doctor. I know she doesn't need the doctor. I've been down this road before. And I thought and I thought and I started poking around the house. And I found little red candies, very small little red candies. I got an empty prescription. I got a prescription bottle that was empty. It had her name on. I washed it out. I dried it. I put all the little red candies in the prescription bottle with her name on it. And finally I said to her, Mom, I've called the doctor. He's giving me a new prescription for you. I'm going to run out to the store and get it, and I will be home in 15 minutes. Will you be okay? Yes. I went up the street, drove around the corner, came back, opened up the prescription bottle that I picked up while I was out with the little red candies, and for probably the last 3 years of her life, she took the 3 little red candies, which was only candy, and one day we were at the doctor's office and he was going down her prescriptions, and my mother says to him, what about the little red pill, Linda? And the doctor goes, the little red pill? What's the little red pill? And I'm going, oh, that was something you prescribed one Saturday when she was in a really bad way. And he's going through his records and he goes, I can't find any record. I said, your nurse knows. And I get up and I went out and I told the nurse what I did. She went into fits of laughing. She went in and told him. He says, okay, I understand. And we left and he said to me, Linda, I want to talk to you. And I went, uh-oh. So the nurse took my mom out and he said, the little red pill? And I said yes, and I explained the story to him. And he sat there and he laughed and he laughed and he laughed. He said, I wish more people would do what you have done for your mother. She had this little red pill. It was just a little piece of red candy. It wasn't a prescription, it wasn't a drug. And for the last 5 or 6 years of her life, that was her favorite prescription. It just took care of everything.
You know what? That's a
So a lot of the time it's mind over matter.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you validated her.
Yeah.
And you reassured her, and you showed up with the red pill.
And he would write her prescriptions out on the board when he was making records or whatever. And every time he wrote her prescriptions, he wrote, and the little red pill. And I just loved him for that. And I was so pleased that he didn't make fun of what I did. He didn't go, and you shouldn't be doing that. He just said, I wish more parents would take care of their parents the way you've taken care of your mother.
Agreed. Agreed. I love that. Are you looking for a job? I know. Because you know what? When the memory impaired fella at 5 o'clock, because inevitably this will happen, will begin to ask where his Tanqueray and tonic is. And do you think we're just going to say no? Because when you're a senior adult in this country, you don't even like the word no anymore. You don't. So I'm going to find a way. I'm not going to really serve you Tanqueray, likely, right? But I'm going to find a way to bring you what you think might be a Tanqueray and tonic. Because if that's what you're asking for, somebody should provide it, right? Because it helps. I love that. I love that for the reasons of validating and reassuring people.
And then when her own doctor, when he was writing her prescriptions on the board for his records, and he put the little red pill, and he said, if I ever write a textbook, I'm putting this story in the
I would. Yeah. Sure. It's a good one.
Right, because so many elderly are overprescribed, and they really don't need half of what they need, they want, or what they think that they need, so.
But everybody could use a little red pill. I love that. Well, depends. That's right. Maybe the Tanqueray and tonic takes the red pill out.
I got frustrated over something, and my mother says, Linda, maybe you need one of my little red pills. And I said, Mom, I think you're right.
That's a sweet story. Meanwhile, I'm thankful for you to give me the time. If there's something else you would like to explore, another topic you'd like to ask us to bring, reach out to your director and she'll ask us and we will bring it. I'm happy to. I really am. I mean that. Because if all you want is information, that's something we can easily provide. So thank you for your time. I hope you have a super afternoon. Thank you. That's very sweet.
Before I let you have some delicious cookies that you was up baking all night, maybe that was a little bit of a stretch.
Maybe.
And I'm sure that normally wouldn't be on her recommended diet for your future health, but every once in a while. I'm just going to take this opportunity to do a couple commercial announcements.
Oh, good.
So I am your director for another 6 weeks. I'm not counting down yet, but another couple of weeks I will be. But I do want to say a couple of things. One is, I think it's wonderful that you're willing to share your deck with us. And also thank you to Janine Murphy, our public health nurse, for putting this together.
And the settings of your source device.
Okay.
Just
Press
ignore
source
it.
on your remote to select connected source device.
So I'm all about having people leave with tools. So once we get Janine will coordinate with Felicia and get her presentation, which if you want copies, we can make them available so you don't get a million emails. This is just a quick one-page handout that Tufts put together. So I'm just going to hand that out to you now so you have something to take home. Also, some of you may remember, before COVID, we had a memory training program all set to go. This is the MCOA, Mass Council on Aging, memory training that's based on studies from the UCLA Longevity Center. And we did, some of you in this room signed up for it. It's a 4-session series, which I'm hoping, even though I'm not here, that we'll be able to offer this in the fall, because your new director, some of you may have heard this already, some of you, this might be a news flash, Karen Edwards is trained in this, and she is looking forward to bringing this to us, hopefully the fall. So look forward to that. And also, just as a resource, I'm reading this book, kind of in the middle, and it's called Remember the Science of Memory and the Art of Forgetting by Lisa Genova. Lisa Genova is a novelist. You may have heard of her most famous book, Still Alice. It's made into a movie. Julianne Moore won the Academy Award for it, about a woman with Alzheimer's. And this is a couple years old now. It's her first nonfiction book, I believe. She's a novelist, but she's also has a PhD in neuroscience from Harvard.
What is the title again?
Remember, the Science of Memory and the Art of Forgetting. And it's a really, because she's a novelist, it's an easy breezy read. She makes the most difficult concepts. I went through this training, and there's a technique in here that she describes. I didn't get it. I mean, in 2 pages I got it. So I do recommend it. This is large print, and it's only a couple hundred pages. And it's filled with really interesting stories and anecdotes. So this is another thing that you can look into. I'll have it done probably in a couple of days. I'll return it to the library, so it might be available. So again, thank you for the focus briefing. Coming and bringing us things. Thanks to all of you, and thanks to Chris and Norfolk Cable. This will be part of our Savvy Senior series, which Chris put together on YouTube. Anything that we've done, educational topics, we have in a playlist available on YouTube. So you can watch back issues, and this will be available. This will be available.
Thank you.